Alaikum, my student. This is me, د.هاني الحسني. So I opened two files. The first file that it will be a PowerPoint slide, and then we will back to the book. I wish you have a great days previously with other classes and lectures. I hope also you still healthy and fine to continue for the current exceptional semester. For this class, I will try to complain, or what we say, we try to convey the message to you. Through what? We have something in chapter 6, but I'm complaining about what happened to you in the previous quiz. We will talk about it for the next Zoom because you seem like you still didn't get the point of chapter 5 subject verb agreement. So I have to emphasize on working hard again. So okay, I think we have to leave all of that back and start in the lesson itself. For me again, د.هاني الحسني for grammar 3. We have here a strategy of general rules. What are the rules for the nouns? We have regular and irregular plurality nouns, and that's the way. We have here, we put quick strategy. We find it from the book itself, but we put it here in a diagram. Most nouns add s. So in most cases, that if we ask any student all over the world how we can make the word plural, he will or she will answer directly, we can add s. And others, we will mention another point, that some words ending with ch, sh, s, and x or z, we should add to it es, like box, boxes, bus, buses, prize, prizes. So that's the two cases. Maybe most all over the world is still reminding themselves with these concepts or rules. And the third one, most nouns that end in y, like this is what we call, we have kind of y, and for it we change it based on the plurality. But in that case, if that word, like boys, before y we have a vowel like a, o, e, these words we can reflect or keep the y with s. So here we have boy, we check the antecedent of y, we found it vowel. If we found it vowel, we keep it with us only, like we have here day. So before y we find the vowel a, so we keep it s. We have here key, we find vowel e, we just keep it s, and we add at the end of the word s. Most nouns that end in y and before it a consonant, like here we have a consonant. This consonant you can find baby. Baby, it ends with y, but before y we have b, and because of it we change y to ies. That's how we make the plural. Most nouns that end in f change to ves. So we learned since the childhood till now that any word that end with f, it can be changed with ves, like we have here elf, elves, loof, loofs, thief, thieves, wife, wives. So these examples also we can find again in the book. I will recheck the book with you, but why I started with this, because maybe the book looks like quite it's like hideous or hectic, a lot of issues in it, a lot of points. Maybe many students, they couldn't get exactly what the book needs, and a lot of notes as well. And here most nouns that end in o, like kangaroo, kangaroos, piano, pianos, video, videos. That's how we remember these words. We have to memorize them as well. And some others end with O, but it's a consonant. Like how we have here kangaroo, we add S. Piano, we add S. So it ends with O, and here it ends with O, but in the same time, before it, or before the how to say, like we have here this word just, it's not, I think this is hero, we have here hero, so hero, heroes, potato, potatoes, volcano, volcanoes. Many examples also in the book. So how we can remember this? By practicing. In the book they mention you have to memorize them. So that's the case, and that's the general rules. These rules, it's very general for most students, but in the book, when we back right now, we will show you the special cases. Again, we have here what we call countable and uncountable. We jump to it because I need to emphasize on this point more and more before we move to the book. So here we have what are countable nouns. Countable nouns are individual objects, people, places, etc., which can be counted. So anything, individual objects, people, places, maybe other like things, kind of materials, all of these issues we can count. Let's move. A countable noun can be both singular. We can understand like a friend, a house, and the second one can be a plural, a few apples, lots of trees. So the countable noun, when we recognize any countable noun, we have to bear in our mind that it can be singular or plural. So the next slide shows something. Use singular form of the verb with a singular countable noun. So we have here kind of singular words. We have coin, note, dollar, bottle, box, letter, cup, plate, fork, table, chair, suitcase, bag. All of these countable can be a singular or plural. My dog is playing, my dogs are hungry. So we can recognize these words can be plural and can be used as singular. Again, countable noun can also have plural form. A car, an eggplant, 3 cars, or some eggplants, something like this. So you can make it singular, you can make it plural based on the context or the sentence itself. Uncountable nouns. So uncountable nouns are substances, concept, etc., that we cannot divide into separate elements. We cannot count them. So let's say that you have any material and you couldn't count it. Something like we can count bottles of milk or liters of milk. Like let's say that you have a lot of milk and someone asks you how many liter in or how many milk or liter of milk in that box, and let's say that box has or have a lot of milk that being gotten by a cow. So here your eyes cannot give a definite answer because you have no measurement, you have nothing to count it except your eyes, and your eyes cannot count something like kilos or cannot count the amount easily for the liquid material. So we have liquid material here. So uncountable nouns like music, art, love, happiness, advice, information, news. So these words, you can remember them. We have electricity, gas, power. Why we couldn't count the electricity? Because electricity is something abstract, and it's one. Electricity, there is no much how to say, like, kinds or types of electricity. It's one. Gas also, it's one. Power, it's one. Money, for all over the world, money is money. No one changed the way how it looks like, whether it's coins or papers, but it's still money. Currency also, the word is not countable, it's uncountable. Furniture, water, butter, sugar, rice, news, information, advice. So that's uncountable nouns. Again, we usually treat uncountable nouns as singular. We use a singular verb. This news is very important. Your luggage looks heavy. So here we deal with it as singular. You can see, like, uncountable. Nouns as a singular, uncountable. Even it looks like huge. The news, even you read many news, or you hear many news from the broadcasting. So here you have to deal with it as a singular. You can count uncountable nouns if you use a piece of, a bowl of, a cup of, bottle of, carton of, part of, a bar. So here, why we use it? Because sometimes we can get slices or slides of maybe bread, or we can get a cup of tea. So we can understand that tea is uncountable, soup uncountable, cheese uncountable, wine uncountable, milk uncountable, chocolate uncountable. So all of these words are uncountable, and in that point, when we say it's uncountable, it means we can make it countable by the pieces or by the literal side. We added these expressions to make or to count the uncountable. So we didn't change the uncountability case for all nouns, but we just try to count it somehow by adding these expressions. So again, we have here the expressions in general. I put it in one slide. You can look at it. Like, we have here a piece of advice, a piece of baggage, a slice of bread, a loaf of bread, a piece of equipment, a piece of furniture, a piece of garbage, a piece of information, knowledge, a fact. We have here also a note, a coin, music, a song, a piece of news, a plate of pasta, a piece of research project, a journey, a trip, and a job, a position. Okay, to continue more, we have here some common uncountable, like liquids, water, milk, and a glass, or a bottle, a jug of water. We can say a glass of water, we can say a bottle of water, we can say a jug of water. It depends. We can say a slice of cheese, chunk of cheese, a piece of cheese. We can say also a pound of meat. We can say as well a bar of butter. And later we have here a tube of ketchup. Like here, sometimes you have to add little ketchup or mayonnaise, so this is called a tube of ketchup. More exercises. So we have here one exercise. Identify the following objects as countable or uncountable. We have here information. Is it countable or uncountable? So when you recognize information, we can say information, so it's uncountable. We have rules, it's countable. We have sheep, it's uncountable, because money also uncountable. You can check here the answers and find it or find all the answers down. I will upload to you later on this slide plus the book. So here we open the book again, we back to the book. So the book has quite maybe 10 sections. We are trying to finish some of them here directly from the book. Section 1, we have regular and irregular plural nouns. I show you previously in the slides, but because we cannot continue all of them. Here it's more detailed and you can see the examples. What you have to memorize is how to look at the normal what we call singular and plural nouns that we used to, and here irregular nouns that we have to understand how to pronounce them, like goose, geese, louse, lice, mouse, mice, tooth, teeth, ox, oxen. Oxen, that's the last. Here we have eco, ecos, hero, heroes, potato, potatoes, tomato, tomatoes, auto, autos, gato, gatos, kangaroo, kangaroos, mimo, mimos, soprano, sopranos, zoo, zoos. So as you, a student, you have to keep it for memorization. You cannot just depend on ending O for sure to add S. So we can find that here adding ES and here add S, there is no rule for it, but the rule is how to memorize them from your memorization. And here memento, volcano, we add ES. This is for more formal. ES, more formal, even as at the end of the word is still accurate. We have calf, calves, half, halves in H, shelf, shelves, and the case that we said previously is strange is scarf, scarves. We can make it as wife, wives, or wolf, wolves. That for your concern, you have to memorize them. I believe and beliefs, cliff, cliffs, chief, chiefs, and roof, roofs. G, we have one deer, two deers, one fish, two fish. We cannot count the groups of animals like fish. It's so many kinds of fish, so we cannot say fishes unless we have special like type of food, like we say salmon, fish. We eat two fishes, so you can count two fishes. We eat two fishes. You can tell others that you have on the table two fishes. And here we can talk about one species, two species. So the pronunciation for it, one species, two species. That's very, very important. And here we need to understand that for some language they say one shrimp, two shrimps. In American, they occasionally have the plural for shrimp as shrimps, and you can see the notes down. You can read it. Last here we have criterion, criteria, phenomenon, phenomena, analysis, analyses, basis, bases, crisis, crises, hypothesis, hypotheses, parenthesis, parentheses, thesis, theses. And we have here in bacterium as a singular, bacteria, curriculum as a singular, curricula, and datum, data, medium, media, memorandum, memoranda. We have also, we mention it, symposium, it will be symposia. Symposium يعني ندوة, symposia. Okay, we finished from the first lesson. We have to answer this question. This question is nice to answer it. I will also try to share with you one answer. Like here, the baby has been crying at night because she is getting her first teeth. I need some matches to light the fire. Studies show that a process information differently from women. So process here, like you can say, you can put here maybe the word, it's medium. Medium process information differently, or that maybe also data process. So the most or the nearest one is medium process information. That's the answer for it. Another one, when we say like online companies collect a lot of data, a lot of data about their customers. A lot of datum, so we can put datum for number 6 for the customer. They collect a lot of datum for their customers. Why we say datum, not data? Because here it shows the customer themselves, so we can keep them as what? So the answer should be data. Online companies collect a lot of data about their customers, so data will be data. And here we change the tooth as teeth, so that's how we can answer the questions. We change the condition and the situation. Last, like we have here, many people communicate on internet through social media, not medium, social media. So I think number 10 is media. So check the answers again by yourself. Number 2, here we have nouns as adjective. So before we start it, what do we mean by nouns as adjective? So sometimes we speak some sentences and we feel that it's adjective, but for sure it's not an adjective. Because why? Because you can see that two nouns stand together, so it's vegetable soup. It's not correct to say it's vegetables soup or whatever, because vegetable soup, we describe the soup with the word vegetable, but vegetable itself is still noun. And here down, the building has offices in it. So this is a sentence. So in the paraphrasing, as a result, it is an office building. We cannot say an offices building, because here, when we mention building has offices or has many offices, we are trying to tell others that in this building we can find offices, or nice offices, beautiful offices, whatever description we can give to offices. But if we want to show you the exact one, it is an office building. So that's the point that we are trying to figure it out for you. Number 2, or C and D, the test lasted 2 hours. And here we need to remember the hyphen mark when we talk about hyphen mark being as a modifier. What do we mean by a modifier? Modifier, it works like an adjective. It's like when we say a modifier, it works like an adjective. The test lasted 2 hours. It means the test timing is 2 hours. So every one enroll in that test will keep waiting, maybe answering, reading for 2 hours. So the deadline for that one, it will be 2 hours, no more, no less. And the point here, it was a 2-hour test. We have to put a hyphen mark here, because if we didn't put the hyphen mark here, it will be totally wrong in writing, because here a structure shows you this is an adjective or nouns as adjective. 2 hour, we have also to omit the s, like we cannot mention a 2 hours with s here, because the hyphen mark means you are showing it as adjective. And here her son is 5 years old, so we are telling others that her son is 5 years old. We need to switch a sentence with hyphen mark. She has a 5 hyphen mark year hyphen mark old son. So why we keep it like this? Because that's the style of using a noun as adjective, by having the hyphen mark and keep the words as singular. So here we cannot tell a 5 years old, a 5 year. We have to omit s from it. And you can find here an example. They sell shoes at that store. It is a shoe store. My garden has flowers in it. It is a flower garden. It is a flower garden. So we keep it here like flowers, plural, and we make it here singular. Fine. So there is one point here they show down, like you can see in this example, the plane was late. We had a 2-hour wait. We had to wait for 2 hours. A 2-hour here will be for hyphenation. So keep it up and try to read it by your own just to understand what I mean. So here also is another example. You pay attention singular plural endings. We have airplane and seat. I don't enjoy flying in airplanes anymore. The seats are getting smaller. So here the B, airplane seats are getting more and more uncomfortable. Don't you think? So if we want to continue here, the second question, Joseph and Rob drive a taxi for a living, or drive taxi for a living. They are taxi driver. They are taxi driver. So Joseph and Rob drive a taxi for a living. They are taxi driver. Fine. So continue the others by your own, and you can find it so easy for you to continue. So here we have read the passage, correct the errors, and this question needs your editing. You have to edit singular and plural noun. Like here in the US and Canada, a popular way to get rid of used item is through a garage sale. So popular way is the owner chooses a day or two, usually over a weekend, and sells miscellaneous stuffs from the garage, driveway, or yard. So here you can find the first one. It has 2 errors. When we try to find the 2 errors, you can see in the US and Canada. So here we cannot put the before US. In US and Canada, a popular way to get rid of used item, here we have to say items. Used items is through a garage sale. You can continue it as well by your own. Number 3, we have possessive nouns. So possessive nouns, we can recognize them somehow by what? By the following point I'm trying here to show you for a while, maybe to take or to have a glance on reading the singular noun and possessive form. You have a look for 1 minute, then we can continue something quickly for it. So first, we have singular noun possessive form. We have the girl's coat. This is very simple to all of you because this is grammar 3, and I don't think you have problem in understanding my wife's coat, lady's coat. That's how we give the possessiveness case to the words or the nouns. And here we can see last case, Thomas and Thomas's coat. If we have one Thomas, we keep the apostrophe after S. If we have a lot of Thomas in the room, we can give the possibility to make it quite plural, and we put the S at the end. Thomas's, like here means not not one Thomas, can be a lot. Plural noun, we have here the girls, we keep the apostrophe at the end. If we know that it's a plural already, not singular like here, we keep it at the end, except the irregular nouns like men, men's, we keep the apostrophe before S. Last, Alan and Lisa's apartment. If we know that two persons are together, like here living in apartment, we give the apostrophe for the second name or the second noun, not the first one. If we like have Ahmed and Ali's apartment is on the third floor, so they are living together, and that's why we give the apostrophe for one. But if we have separate, like Alan and Lisa, they are living in different apartments, so we have to say like this: Tom's and Joe's apartments are on the second floor. And that's the point here. We have two person, and these two person, they are living in different apartments in the same floor. So we have on the second floor, we have two person, and those two person have two different apartments, and that's why we make the apostrophe like this. Okay, Tom and Joe have different apartments. That's for analysis and explanation. We have here also number 4, more about expressing position. We can see like the brother's house, birds, feather, Canada's borders, UNICEF's mission. We have to remember organization, countries, living creatures are ending with S because they still singular. Cover of the book, this is how we reflect the sentence. Like we can say book's cover, we can say race's start, we can say company's owner. So that's how we reflect the sentence and rewrite it in another way. We have today's schedule, month and week. This for timing. If we say the timing, so we have to keep it away from using of. So here we can put of when we rechange the sentence or paraphrase it, but here with timing like day, month, week, year, we couldn't do it. So we cannot say schedule of today, play of this month, announcement of last year. So we have to avoid using of with the timing. That's for sure a new knowledge to you, but keep it for writing. If you have a writing task, you just keep it in your mind to justify it. People from my country, people in my country, just in general, because you cannot tell others people's country or my country's people. You cannot use apostrophe for people in the country. There is no position of them. You cannot tell others that I have them. So no one can count or own the people themselves. So you use in and from. M and O, 3 examples here. I will be at the doctor's, and here examples, it looks like I need to minimize using a lot of words. Like I don't have to say I will be at the doctor's office. I will be at my cousin's house. My cousin's house. So you are using apostrophe, and at the same time you are avoiding using many words, and this is a style of writing. You can keep it for also speaking. I'm staying at my cousin's, so people will understand directly cousin or uncle or aunts, all of them. When you put the apostrophe before the S, it means their own property, their own house, their own place. P, I filled out the application form. So when you fill the application form, it means you have that kind of way, because the application itself is different for each candidate. Like we have applications form for each student, and we cannot say applications form because no one can hold or own the application for himself only. The application usually means for many, and it's not for position because it's kind of thing used for many people, and that's the point for it. Like here is an adjective, or type of kind application form is not used by only one, it can be for others, and that's why we just make it same here. I filled out the application without any kind of position. 5 astronauts. We can talk about علماء الفضاء يعني were aboard the space shuttle. فعندنا هنا when we have Q, space shuttle indicates a type of shuttle. It doesn't express position. So space shuttle here, if they are in the space shuttle, doesn't mean like they have one for themselves, because there are many, and the astronauts here, they couldn't hold it. It's not for them. It's maybe it's belong to a government, or it's belong to a huge organization, and that's why those astronauts just use it for one time or two times. They cannot tell others that it's mine or this shuttle is their own. For sure, like it goes to with like it carry them and goes away to the space, as you can see, like a shuttle is a rocket, take the astronauts who discover the moon and discover other planets, but in the same time they cannot tell others it's our creation, because it belongs to a company, or it can belong to a government. No one can pay or give amount of money for it to buy it. It's not easy to get it for your own use. That's the fourth what we call section, and here 5 and 6 section we will talk again about it, maybe in the next time, because we don't have much time to explain. But at the beginning of our class we describe something in the PowerPoint slide, so I wish that you get already all what I mean. Next time we will focus on countable and uncountable, and we will move on it. Please answer the quiz that I left to you on the platform, e-learning platform. Therefore, if anyone answer it quickly and find it out easy, please give me feedback of any question that you find it problematic, or you find obstacle in handling it. Thank you again, and see you later.